Okay, I'm going to do another blast from the past of tractors that was in my youth. The Massey Ferguson 175 and the 65. The 175 was manufactured from 1964 to 1975. In 1975, it cost $7,500. The 65 was from 1958 to 1964, and a price tag of around 3,900. And the horsepower, like different sites gave different horsepowers, but I guess the 175 was, the 70 to 75 range horsepower, depending on what engine. Could be wrong, but I'm thinking that's right. And then the 65 was 50 horsepower, and some say 58 horsepower. But anyway, and then after all these years, I always thought, I don't know why, Massey Ferguson was an American tractor, but of course it's not. Some dude named Massey up in Canada and a dude named Harris produced the Massey Harris tractors. And then you can find the history for yourself. But then Mr. Harris disappeared, and Mr. Massey joined forces with a British company named Ferguson. So then we had the Massey Ferguson. So a joint venture between Britain and Canada. So, and then I remember as a kid, our neighbor had a Massey Harris that he did all his farming with. But my experience with the 175 and 65 was when I was getting to be 12, between 11, 12, and then on to up to 14 before I moved away there. My neighbors and friends would always hire me to drive tractor and do other chores. But this man, Ivan Ziegler, it was kind of unique because my dad actually worked for him too when my dad was in high school. So by the time I was working for him, he was close to retirement age. Not quite. He was in his 60s, I imagine. Anyway, another funny thing, my really good friend I grew up with there now lives on this farm. He bought that farm back in 1988, and that's when Ivan died. And now he's just a mega farmer and does about 3,000 acres. And there's no small tractors on that farm anymore. But I remember as kids, we used to ride our dirt bikes over there during hay season. And then we would load the wagons, the flatbed hay wagons, and then we'd pull them to the barn with the 65. And I love driving that little tractor. It's one of the first tractors I experienced, and if I remember right, that everything had to be in neutral before it would start, which is a pretty good safety feature. But just a little fun tractor to drive. And also I remember Ivan didn't have a haybine, so he had an old sickle mower, and I'll show pictures of that at the end. Then he would pull that with a 65, or I think he had a 50 too, a Massey Ferguson 50. Then I would follow with the Oliver conditioner or crimper, So it was two steps. That was, of course, the haybines took care of that, and then of course we have the disc bines. But it was fun. I'd just follow him. He would have that little sickle mower. Then I'd follow him with the Oliver conditioner, the hay crimper. And then another funny story with the 175 was my first experience of a rotary hoe. Now, the rotary hoe is a thing of the past, but back in the day, everybody used to do that before the crops got too big, beans or corn, just a few inches high. And it was fun because you could go in a higher gear than normal and go like hell across the field. And man, there was dirt clods flying everywhere. It was just fun, as long as you didn't run over any plants. But I got the hang of it, and it was a lot of fun. I really loved the tractor, and the 175 was like, the big brother of the 65. And they're both fun tractors to drive, very, very well made, and I just really enjoyed that time. And I guess that's it. The 175 was mainly. I didn't really disc with that or nothing. I just remember rotary hoeing and with hay. And then when it came came time to do the really good field work, that's when I was introduced to the John Deere 4020, which will be another video.